We have another breaking news story. This time about 13 pupils have been rushed to the KwaMhlanga hospital in Mpumalanga for suspected food poisoning after they complained of headaches, stomach cramps and some began vomiting. The learners are from a secondary school at Verena in Mpumalanga. Let's get the latest now from the Mpumalanga Education Department's Gerald Sambo. Thank you so much, Mr. Sambo, for your time this afternoon. Of course, a devastating story, this one. Just talk to us about the circumstances of these children ending up in hospital.
Yes, we can confirm that we have received a report, and the learners have since been rushed to the nearby clinic where they were referred to the hospital for further observation. And what we can indicate at the moment is that we are monitoring the situation very closely, and we will wait for the report from the examination while or after they have been examined at the hospital as to what really has caused these learners to, complain about the stomach cramps to a point where some of them even went to a point of vomiting. And we'll rely on the report from the hospital, but also from our sister department, the Department of Health, which will guide us as to what happened and what caused this, sad development. And we will continue to also monitor the situation closely as a department to also keep everyone up to date as to what are the new developments with regards to the children. And we're hopeful that they will be treated and released back to the care of their parents.
And just talking about the parents, one would imagine that they were immediately called. Just talk to us about just the varying degrees of their conditions in hospital.
Well, their conditions, differ from one child to the next. As we've correctly indicated, that some are complaining about headaches, some stomach cramps, but some went to a point of vomiting. And of which, when we spoke to the school earlier, they indicated that they suspect that it should be from the archer that they bought from one of the street vendors who sell food, to the children, around the school. But as we're indicating that we'll also want to rely on the report that we'll receive from the hospital that will also indicate to us exactly what has happened and what are they finding, to be the cause of the problem on the side of the learners, especially with regards to the stomach cramps, vomiting and the headache is concerned.
I mean, you would know that at the moment, Gauteng province is also grappling with just the surge in these food poisoning cases. And the department, in fact, has decided to create some form of awareness campaigns at school, particularly as it relates to unauthorized food being brought into the schools. How, to what extent is this situation in Mpumalanga? Is this the first incident this year, or are you also finding a number of these incidents happening across your schools in Mpumalanga?
Well, this year, this is the first incident that we are experiencing as a province. And we have also been, as the department, advocating for learners to consume the food that is actually, prepared at the school level, because such food is prepared under strict supervision where all the protocols in terms of preparing food is followed, and it's food that is fresh and food that we ensure that all the time it's kept under conditions that will keep it safe for the learners to consume. However, you will have those pockets of cases where learners sometimes might decide to go out of the school gate to go and procure, food from these street vendors. But we have been, as a department, requesting, especially even parents, to encourage their children to eat the food that we provide at the school level, because we are also of the view that based on the kind of nutrition value that has been taken into consideration when preparing this food, it's food that will be beneficial more to the learners, even from the nutritious perspective. And we will continue to plead with parents and community members, but also the street vendors, to desist from actually selling food to children, food that they know very well that might not be good for their consumption, because this is creating a lot of problems, not only for us but also for the learners and parents as well, because it is worrisome for a parent to learn that your child left home very well but subsequently they are not well at the end of the day. But as we indicate, we will wait for a detailed report from the hospital that will indicate clearly what caused this, the sickness from the side of the learners, and we'll be able to actually indicate going forward as to what is it that is going to happen, but indicate also what really caused, the problem that caused the learners to get sick at school.
Thank you so much for that, Mpumalanga Education Department's Gerald Sambo.